Hi everyone, welcome to week 7 of All About Bannack and the Montana State Parks Takeover. So this week's topic is history, and we have done a virtual town tour that you can find on our Facebook and Instagram and YouTube channel. So if you'd like to go learn really about the history of the town of Bannack, you can go watch that. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of Bannack State Park. So people often come in and they, explore the town and they learn all about the history, but then they usually start to wonder, well, how did Bannack actually become a ghost town? So today we are going to talk about the creation of Bannack State Park as we know it today. The peak population of Bannack was over 3,000 people in the 1860s and 70s. However, after the initial boom in 1862, there was another gold strike in 1863 in Virginia City, Montana. People started moving to that gold strike as the nature of the gold rush was to follow the gold. Bannack was a fairly steady town as new types of gold mining would bring small waves of people to the area. But by the 1940s, World War II began and gold mining was banned as gold was considered non-essential to the war effort. The main economy of Bannack was of course mining, so with it being outlawed, many people started to move away. There were fewer and fewer jobs after World War II. A few mining companies tried to come in and restart the mining here, but it never took off. One of the last businesses to operate here was Ovitz Store, run by Mabel Ovitz, who was the last person to die in Bannack. If you'd like to hear a bit more about her story, check out our cemeteries video. Now, as Bannack became smaller and smaller, the state decided to begin buying up properties with the intention of preserving the town. Creating the state park really began in the 1950s. In 1954, the state began buying properties as they would come up for sale. There are over 60 historic structures and land here in the state park that had to be purchased either individually or in groups. Between 1954 and 1984, the state began buying more and more properties. In 1953, 19 parcels of land were donated to the state, and then over the next 3 decades, properties were purchased as soon as they became available. The last property to be purchased was in 1984, which was the Brewer Cabin. In 1993, a large section of the park, most of the land surrounding the town, was transferred to the state from BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, creating the park we know today. When the town of Bannack was created, no one knew how long it would be here or if it would remain significant. As time went on, the town became more established and large buildings like the Mead Hotel were built to make a statement about the longevity of Bannack and its permanence on the Montana landscape. Today, as a state park, we continue that message. Bannack was a critical part of Montana's history, and we work each day to make it a welcoming place for all Montanans to come visit and learn about the history of this beautiful state and park. We are working on new programming, exhibits, and events when possible to keep the ghost town of Bannack very much alive.